Joshua Cribbs turns disaster into a score!
Ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being.
Washed it down with 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary. And I said, Stone Cold, why have one when you can have them both?
Swung out and drilled! Deep right center! Away back! Gone for Tony!
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton?
Awful.
How is she awful?
Hates freedom.
And now, Any Given Podcast with your hosts, Brendan Ward and Ethan Simpson.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Any Given Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Ethan Simpson, sitting here with my main man,
Brendan Ward.
and we have a fantastic episode for you. But first, we're going to start off with fantasy football updates. Yes, I had to beat the hell out of my friend, Joshua Annabelle Pridemore. I didn't think that I had to, but I did. And you know what? It feels good to be a winner. Brendan, how do you do this week?
I ended up coming away with a win. I was up by 60 something by the end of Sunday, and was waiting on to see if Devontae Adams was going to play because who I was playing had him and a defense going. So I thought I had it in the bag at the end of Sunday, and then with Devontae Adams being out yesterday, I really kind of just ran away with it, and I really needed the win to get back to 500 on the season, and just barely in the playoffs.
Yeah. See, I'm at 3-1, which is kind of funny because I was supposed to be at 1-13 at the end of the year, but look at me, I'm sitting there at number 3 in the rankings. I don't know. Does NFL Network actually know what they're talking about?
No, maybe not, because I was supposed to go pretty much undefeated, and here I am sitting at 500 now. I have had some injuries, but I'm not going to blame it on that. We're going to go ahead and give up the top 5 for the first time here. Coming in at number 1, we have Silence of the Lamb. As you know, that is Heidi, my fiance, running things right now in fantasy after 4 weeks, 3-1.
Number 2 is the Fantasy F Words, which is Kyle White. Everybody said that he was going to be the second worst team, but he's the second best team right now.
Yeah, I clowned the guy for taking Tom Brady in the 3rd round, and I still think it was a bad mistake to do. But his team's working together right now.
Who's number 3?
Really score a lot. Who's number 3? Some Kent team, Kent Honks.
The Kent Honks. Yeah, they're 3-1. They were supposed to be 1-3, is what I heard.
Yeah, they were supposed to be 1-13 by the end of the year. So
or 1-13. That's what I meant. My apologies.
Yeah, they were supposed to be 1-13 by the end of the year. Here they are with 3 wins. They've already tripled their expectations. Maybe they'll have a fall off. Who knows?
Oh, hey, who knows? You know, maybe if the Steelers quit getting COVID and the Titans quit getting COVID.
I hate the Steelers as much as you do, but they didn't do anything wrong this time.
Yeah, they did not. It was the Titans' fault. Hey, Derrick Henry, just stay in your hotel room, my man.
Get your stuff together. Yeah, Cam Newton too, because he's the reason. That's the exact reason why he was out yesterday.
The one thing I am very mad about, my apologies, speaking of Cam Newton, was the hate that Brian Hoyer got last night. He did not play good, but he hasn't started in over a year.
Dude had to play the best team in the league on 1 day notice.
Yeah, and he didn't do that bad. He was doing his checkdowns. That's what good quarterbacks do. All right, go on.
All right, number 4, we've got Lights, Camera, Action, which is my future father-in-law, Heidi's dad. So, and then after that, at number 5, we have Devil, Lettuce, Wop Lover, which is my cousin Ian. And then finally at number 6, the final playoff team would be me, Hunt Chubbs, OBJYN.
So, if you want to scroll down a little bit, who's at number 8?
0-4, your buddy Joshua Pridemore. as well as he's tied with Cowboys Suck, who completely deserves it for just that slanderous fantasy football name. And he thought he had the bell of the whistles and all of that by drafting Lamar Jackson in the first round at the end of the first round, and then Nick Chubb right after.
I don't hate the Nick Chubb pick in the second round.
No, Nick Chubb in the second round is a very good pick, but he was talking so much stuff that he went Lamar Jackson, Nick Chubb.
So, speaking of Cowboys suck.
We'll get to that.
Okay, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
All right.
We'll get there.
All right. All right, so we're going to talk about the Indians wild card against the Yankees. They lost 2-0. They got swept 2-0. You give them the stats. I will give them the hot takes. I'm so ready to be over this team.
What stats are there to give? Shane Bieber, who will probably run away with the Cy Young, didn't look like Shane Bieber. He almost looked like he should be in the minor leagues again. And then the next night, Carlos Grasso looked all right, but he had to deal with a very mistimed rain delay to start the game, and then 20 minutes later after he finished the top of his first. As far as stats, Carlos Carrasco ended up going 4 full innings in that second game. Bieber went a little longer into the fifth, but still both gave up numerous runs. The Indians were pretty much getting destroyed in Game 1. Game 2 was a pretty good game. It was a very long game. Even took the lead in the 8th, and then Brad Hand kind of ended the season.
He kind of handed them.
Yeah, kind of handed them the season. But New York's on fire right now.
Yeah, that's what we said last week on the podcast. If they are all there and healthy, they're gonna be dominant. They're the best.
Team.
They're the best team in the AL if they are all healthy, and they were all healthy, and they showed it against the Indians. And you know what? I did pull a homer saying that they were gonna lose to the Indians, which that's just a homer thing to say.
Well, here's the thing. Pulling a homer thing is one thing. Going out there and expecting pitching as good as what Cleveland has had all year to do what they did in those 2 games was completely unexpected. Nobody, not a single person can tell me they expected that game from Shane Bieber.
And you know what I did? You know what I didn't really like was that people were comparing Shane Bieber to Corey Kluber when we played the Yankees in 18 in Progressive Field, and he gave up 2 games where he botched it. I get that there's similarities, but Shane Bieber, to me, is a better pitcher than Corey Kluber was.
He is. He is at this moment in his career. The thing with me is, when did Kluber all of a sudden become this pitcher that was terrible in the postseason? Because I don't know about you, but I remember in 16, the guy pitching every 3 days.
Yeah, no, he was on fire. I don't. Did it get into his head? Did the other Cy Young get into his head? And if that's the case, then do not give Shane Bieber the Cy Young.
Yeah. Don't. I mean, if that's the case, don't give it to him if it's going to ruin his mental. I was just saying, like, in that New York series in 18, Kluber had 2 bad games, right? 2 bad games that put him back in that series. Other than that, Kluber in the playoffs, I don't really see as this guy that you could sit here and say, well, Bieber's going to be him. Because if Bieber is him, I'll take it. 2 bad games in a career of playoffs where the Indians were making the playoffs every single year.
Yeah, how can you even compare that?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, it was the 17
yeah,
ALDS. My apologies.
That's on both of us.
18 was the Astros.
18 was the Astros. Okay, well, still, 1 bad series and then 1 bad game from Shane Bieber all year. He's already walked away with Players Digest MLB Pitcher of the Year. Gonna run away with the AL Cy Young. I don't really think that him getting the Cy Young is going to go to his head and make him all of a sudden a terrible pitcher, even in the postseason. He's young, man. That was his first postseason action
Yeah,
ever.
no, I mean, he's your age.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect more from him. He did fantastic this year. And speaking of the Indians, here's where my hot take comes in. Tribe, this offseason, you got to get rid of Lindor. That's just a fact. And I'm going to show you right now what you can do. You can take Lindor. You can trade him for someone like Otto Orff, someone who respects Cleveland.
Yeah, that I was not a big fan of the comments. Well, it's a billionaire team. They can for sure.
That was outrageous. We're a 1.2 billion team with merchandise, ticket sales, everything all together. You know what the Yankees are? They're a $5.8 billion team.
The thing with it is Lindor even worth as much money as he was?
After this season?
He was. There's no way to put it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it anymore. Absolute garbage this year.
Yeah.
What did he hit? 175 or something like that?
It was not good. I can tell you that. And I've been saying it since probably around the mid-August. I've been saying, why don't you save that money, trade Lindor, get 2 potential All-Stars, get 2 prospects, and save that money for Shane Bieber and Jose Ramirez. That would be the smartest thing they could do. Because Jose Ramirez, no matter what, he's always been hot. Maybe not always been hot, but he's been consistent throughout the year. He can get hits, he can get RBIs. Maybe he's not hitting as good as he could, but he's still getting RBIs and hits.
I'm just saying, Francisco Lindor Jose Ramirez might win MVP this year, and why wouldn't you pick him? Like you said, consistent without a doubt. He had a slump a little bit last year, but other than that, he really didn't fall off. This year, Francisco Lindor's batting average was 125.
125. That's lower than Jose Altuve's this year, and everybody was roasting Jose Altuve.
It's the second lowest of his career aside from 2017 when he hit 111. But in 2017, he hit 1 home run. This year he hit.
Whoa. Are you looking at postseason stats?
It's got to be no way.
That's got to be postseason because he did not hit 1 home run all of 2017.
2020. Okay, so he hit 258.
258.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's better. He was better than Altuve, but still, I'm just saying. You know what, man? You want to get paid? Have fun in the pinstripes. Have fun having to keep your hair the same color it was naturally instead of having the teal hair you've had for the last couple years. Have fun dealing with the Yankees organization, which. All right. So, moving on from there, before I get way too worked up, we're going to move to the current division series updates. The Houston Astros beat the Oakland Athletics, so they lead the series 1-0. The New York Yankees beat my Tampa Bay Rays last night 1-0. Brendan, your thoughts on those series?
I thought the Athletics would be a little more competitive than they were yesterday, and maybe they will today. I'd really like to see the Astros lose. I do not want them to go to the championship series. And then, as I said earlier, the Yankees are just getting hot at the right time. And looking around that roster is built for clutch time. It's built for October, like I told you last week, despite the fact that we both picked the Indians to win based off of pitching. I thought that if they're healthy, they're a dangerous team. Here they are being a dangerous team, beating up on the Rays yesterday, who was the best team in all of baseball, aside from the Los Angeles Dodgers. And then I guess we'll see what happens today. Right now, the Astros and the Athletics are tied in the top of the second in Game 2 of that series. And then the Yankees play Tuesday night at 8:10, that Game 2. So that game will be final by the time this airs.
Yeah, I just like we were saying, I hate that the Yankees are actually the best team in baseball. I hate that if they did not get injured halfway through the 60-game season, they would be number 1. Tampa Bay Rays, the viewers don't know, my grandparents live down in the Tampa Bay area. Growing up, they've always sent me stuff. My favorite baseball player growing up was Evan Longoria. So I have a soft spot for the Tampa Bay Rays. Unless they beat the Indians, then it's screw them. But I hope that the Rays can come out in Game 2 with this pitching that they've been talking about.
Yeah.
ESPN's been talking about it. MLB Network's been talking about it. Everybody's been talking about it. But let's see if they can come out and actually make something of it. And let's get those bats going. I do not want to see another Yankees World Series for the rest of my lifetime.
If I could help it, probably. I don't want to see them win another title the rest of my life. But on to the NLDS. You've got Game 1 going on right now between the Miami Marlins, a kind of surprise team in the postseason, and the Atlanta Braves, who don't have a pitcher to save their lives. But thank God they have bats, because right now in the top of the 8th, they are winning 9-5 and threatening but they're being threatened with 2 outs and runners on the corners by the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, watch out for the Braves. I've said this since the beginning of the season this year. Watch out for the Braves. The Braves are sneaky good, just like my fantasy team. They're sneaky good.
They started out this year scoring like 27 in 3 games, didn't they? Or something like that.
Yeah, it was incredible. I think they were playing I'm going to have to look it up, but they were playing somebody and they just ran through them. I don't think it was the Cubs.
I thought it was the Cardinals.
Was it the Cardinals?
Yeah, I think it was the Cardinals.
They ran through them, and it was unbelievable. But look for the Braves to win this series. Look for the Padres to sneak through the Dodgers.
You think San Diego's going to pull it off?
Yes.
With Sunshine pitching tonight in Game 1, I think they're going to go up 1-0.
The Dodgers will go up 1-0 on them tonight.
I think the Padres are.
You said Sunshine's pitching, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see how his arm's doing. That's
We'll
the only
see, yeah.
thing.
It really depends on his elbow, but he has that postseason experience, and he's pitched very well in the postseason. The only thing is he went from the number 2 guy to being that team's ace. They need him to be Shane Bieber now.
Yeah, I mean, they gave us 6 guys for him and Greg Allen. He better be the ace they're looking for. But I would say look for the Dodgers to come out Game 1, but for the Padres to win it after this series, or to win the series.
So you think Padres Rays for the World Series?
Yeah.
That's what you're hoping for?
That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm hoping for Padres Rays as well. Something about that team just.
Tatis is just he's too good. I mean,
I hate like when I scroll Twitter and the MLB Twitter account will post something about him, and then all in the comments are like, "Oh my God, you're kissing his ass. Why is he the only person you talk about?" First of all, baseball finally has a freaking marketable superstar. Let them market him like he's LeBron James if they
wait,
need
did you just say finally has marketing? What about Bryce or Mike?
What if they haven't marketed him? Them, have they?
Trout
Trout.
or Harper?
I mean, they're known, but are they LeBron James known? You go ask somebody on the street if they know LeBron James or Mike Trout. Who are they going to say they know?
LeBron James. I mean,
Exactly.
That's not even a real.
It might not. That might not be a real question. We're in
That's
Ohio.
that's like saying who do you know on the streets? LeBron James or Derek Jeter? Everybody's going to say both.
Well, everyone's going to say both, but you're gonna have a vast majority of people who know LeBron James who have no clue who Mike Trout is.
Yeah.
A lot
In
of
the
people.
LA area. Yeah.
Even in Los Angeles. Here in Ohio, you might know both of them. You're for sure gonna know LeBron.
Yeah.
But in LA, you're probably gonna know LeBron. You're not really gonna know Mike Trout. And it's unfortunate because he might be the best player that baseball has ever seen.
I mean, yeah. Brendan. I didn't want to say this, but I really hope that the Angels trade Mike Trout this offseason to a contending team. Not the Yankees, not the Dodgers. Send him to Cleveland. It looks like we're gonna release some cap space. No, we don't have cap space in baseball.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have some free money laying around. Why not bring Mike Trout? Would you like to see him in some red, white, and blue?
I mean, considering what he's getting paid already, it's probably going to be cheaper than what Lindor gets in the offseason. You know what I'm saying? Because what's he making? $25 million a year? Because he got $250 million total or something like that.
Yeah.
So Lindor, with the way contracts have been going, with Machado getting 30-some million, Lindor is probably going to reach somewhere in that $40 million range if someone pays him that, despite the fact that he had a absolute trash season this year. So if you could trade for Mike Trout and have him instead of Lindor, and then figure out what you're going to do at third, move Jose to short, keep Hernandez at second, or maybe switch that, put Jose at 2, put Hernandez at short, and then figure out a third baseman.
Okay.
Because you're gonna have to put Trout at center, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trout at center. I really like Naylor. I think.
Oh yeah, I know. 5 for 5 in his first plate appearances.
He should be your starting right fielder next year, and then maybe you commit to either Naquin or Mercado on the other side.
Yeah. That's actually a great idea. Mixing those guys up.
Yeah.
So, would you be cool with this trade, sending Lindor and a prospect to the Angels for Trout and a prospect?
I would send Lindor, Tristan McKenzie, and a prospect if I could.
You would send Tristan McKenzie?
Yeah.
You don't think he has a future in Cleveland?
I think he's going to be great. I just think if we're going to go after Trout, it's win now.
Okay, yeah. What about Plesac? Who would you rather keep, Plesac or McKenzie? Ooh, tough one, isn't it?
Plesac, because I think he's your number 2 guy now.
He's proven himself. Okay.
He was dominant to end this year. So much so that I argued that he should be the Game 2 starter over Carrasco.
Yeah.
So, honestly, if you're going to trade one of your starters, I don't want to say it, but maybe it's Carrasco.
I could see it. I mean, obviously I love Cookie.
Yes.
Everybody loves Cookie. But if we have to make a trade to win now, and we don't have to trade one of our young prospects, they're not even prospects, they're now in bids.
McKenzie's here.
One of our young guys, and we can trade Cookie, I'd send him Cookie and Lindor.
If I could send Cookie and Lindor and maybe just pick a prospect, anyone but Bobby Bradley, because I think once he gets up here, he's going to be really good.
I forgot about Bobby Bradley. Bobby Bradley at third?
Is he a third baseman? I thought he was an outfielder.
He could play third. He's a big guy.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so put him at third. But,
you could put him in. Where could you put him in at? If we keep Jose at third, Jose loves the hot corner.
Yeah, I know he does, but you're going to need somebody to replace Lindor right now.
And he's smaller than Bobby. So Bobby at short, or not Lindor, Jose at.
The only thing that might take away from that is Carlos Santana on this team next year. Because then Franmil Reyes is going to have to play first base if you put Bobby Bradley at third. Right?
Yeah, but would you really want to put
No,
Carlos back at third base?
No, what I'm saying is if Carlos Santana isn't on the team, who are you putting at first? Bobby Bradley or Franmil Reyes?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Or are you going to go get a guy? Which might work out because Cesar...
You can put Bobby there and then keep Franmil at DH.
Yeah, you're one of them's going to be your DH. One of them's going to have to play first or third.
Yeah, but
depending on who you keep.
Do you really think Santana's not coming back?
I hope he does, and I think that he's one of those guys that would take less money to stay here now because he has left, and he did not find success elsewhere at all. He didn't have a great year, so he's not going to get paid a bunch of money. So, yeah, on a cheaper price, just to keep a guy that they know, the Indians probably do keep him. But it is up in the air. And it's something you got to think about is who the heck is going to be your first baseman if you can't just plug and play after trading a shortstop as well.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have enough plug-and-play guys because you're going to have to pull Bradley up and put him at first. Now you need a short. If you move Jose, who's going to play third? But if you put Bobby Bradley at third and move Jose to short or second with Hernandez going to either of the other ones, who's going to play first now? If you end up getting rid of Santana, you got to find somebody in free agency that can either play first or third, and you probably should make that decision first, or make the decision on where you're going to put who in the other spots in the infield to know whether you're going to sign a first baseman or a shortstop, or if you're just going to keep Santana and move people around.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. I don't think Santana's leaving. Like you said, he left, went to the Phillies, tried to find success there, could not, came back. I don't know if that was just a weird doing. They had like this weird thing with the front office. It could be. Weird stuff like that happens all the time in sports. Speaking of weird stuff in sports, we're going to flip to football right now. The Cleveland Browns beat the Dallas Cowboys 49-38. We are now 3-1. The first time since 2001 we're 3-1. 2020 has been a wild year. You can't really say that about the Browns, though. We have an excellent team. So excellent.
Yeah, they're not winning just because we're in some sort of reverse simulation of the world. They're not winning because of that. They have a good team. The thing is they finally have a coach that's going to sit down and learn the X's and O's of each team, learn what makes each team click, learn their tendencies and stuff like that, and put it in a game. And then when something happens different in the game, he's able to adjust on the fly. And that's just what they were missing last year. I sat here last week and told you that the Cowboys defense was so bad that this is a game that the Browns could pull out, and lo and behold, they did. Once again, the defense forces multiple turnovers. So, yes, they are getting pushed around left and right. But through 3 quarters of that game, they shut down one of the best offenses in all of football, maybe the best offense in all of football, even including the Kansas City Chiefs, because besides Patrick Mahomes, 2 through 11 are better for the Dallas Cowboys than they are for the Kansas City Chiefs, except for tight end.
Yeah, I mean, what a wild game that was. Just to watch and experience. Everybody was coming in saying, Cowboys, 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 Cowboys for the win. Browns came in, and you know what? I said this last week. I've said this for the last few weeks. They have the swagger back to them that they had in 2018 when Baker first came in. And I truly believe that. They're hanging out with each other. If you see on the sidelines, they cut to the sidelines, and it's Odell, Baker, and Jarvis, and they're talking. Then the running backs come over, and everybody's talking. It's the cool kids club. It's the tight end or touchdown kids club.
Yeah. The thing with that game is they actually looked like a football team to me with that game. The previous 2 wins were, hey, we're supposed to beat you guys. This game, they fought, they got ahead, they stayed ahead, and even faced some adversity when Dallas ran off 24 points in 9 minutes in the 4th quarter, and then came back and a 50-yard touchdown run on the first play of the drive by Odell Beckham Jr. to seal a win.
Yeah, that was insane. And everybody on ESPN the next day, Stephen A., Max Kellerman. No, not Max. Max actually was hyping up the Browns. But everybody else was talking about how, the Browns, they beat the Cowboys. Well, that's a terrible team. No, it's not. The Cowboys is a good team. Everybody was saying they were going to the Super Bowl this year.
The Cowboys are a good team. They've played good teams.
Yeah.
We've played the Rams. Okay, the Falcons can be arguable. Then we've played the Seahawks and the Browns.
Yeah.
They're a very good team. Give the Browns their credit for stopping that offense, because if you're going to go all week and say that the Dallas has one of the best offenses in the league, give that defense credit that you're tearing apart still on the Brown side because they have back end issues and injuries. No Grant Delpit, no Greedy Williams. Andrew Sandejo can't tackle somebody to save his life.
And that's what I was going to say. Everybody on different sports networks were saying that the Browns were going to get completely destroyed. And like you were saying, the Browns defense, Daryl, the Browns defense had nobody there pretty much.
Look, they lead the league in turnovers. They're obviously doing something right.
Right? But we don't have most of our starting guys there.
Yeah. They're not a full squad. That defense will get back together, and right now it's on the offense to pick it up. Very happy to see what I've seen from Dontrell Hilliard and Dearness Johnson in relief, and it makes me think that the Browns will be okay the 6 weeks that they don't have Nick Chubb, which is crazy to think about because Nick Chubb could very well be the best running back in all of football.
And coming up next, we have an interview with one of my good friends. I've known him since 2012. He is a hit Cleveland rapper. He is an actor. He is a baller. He is all around everything that Cleveland needs. It's my good friend, Shuicide Holla. Welcome on Shuicide Holla. Shuicide, you have been my boy for what, 8 years now?
8 years now, man.
Dude, time flies when you're having fun.
When you accomplishing things, it does for sure.
So we're gonna start off the interview here with a little bit about the background on your end. So you started off with Kick Game Volume 1 and Kick Game Volume 2, and at that time you were a young Holla.
Yeah. I Kick Games, man, like them came around like early 2012. Like it was like I did 3 of them immediately. Like when I first, you got to think, when I made the decision, like this is what I want to do, music, I probably wrote nonstop from 12 to like 16. So every time me and you linked up or it was another show or anything, it was always fresh material. You can vouch for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, come on, Shu. We've been boys for too long for you to not think I didn't know that.
Them Kick Games was like, I consider them like, I even go back and listen because you got to think, as I was creating, I never dwelled on my own music. So going back and listening is like a crazy breath of fresh air. Like it sounds so crazy to me. Like it almost seems as if the talent was never a lack, but more of the confidence. Yeah, I mean.
No, yeah, totally. And when you say confidence, the way that you performed on the stage, we record live from the Kent stage. So we're on the stage that you've performed live too many times. Maybe not enough.
Me and Matlock was literally just talking about 2 days ago. Matlock called me and was like, man, my favorite performance still to this day is you and Flocka at Kent, man.
Oh man, that Flocka concert, that was an experience for everyone, I think.
That was ridiculous. Like, that was ridiculous, man. That was a good time, man.
It was a good time. I still get to have the bragging rights that I got to kick Waka off the stage, which is kind of, it's like a yin and yang bragging rights, because I knew the stage was starting to bow, and so I was like, what do I do? I had to kick Waka off the stage.
So many, bro. When he told everybody to come on the stage, I remember, I think I got a picture of me and you standing next to each other. Like, it was bad. It was thick on that stage, dude. That was the most people I ever seen on that stage for sure.
Hey, and you know what? We're going to put a little clip of your performance for Waka here in a second into the podcast. But yeah, it was, if it wasn't my parents or my family's stage, I probably would have enjoyed it. But at that time, I was like, I was just thinking in my head, I was like,
you have to get a long run. Flocka is just one night. You got to think of the next night and the next year and the years to come. You know what I mean?
Right. And if the stage breaks and lawsuits and yada yada, it's just like, oh my gosh.
Exactly. We would have all ended up where I shot the 55th and Hamlet video.
Right. Yeah. Right. Right. And I was just gonna say, last two winters ago that you shot the 55th in
Yeah,
Hamlet?
I started December 18.
Yeah. So he recorded that music video here as well. Me and Shuicide go back. Like I said, a little too long, but do you have anything new coming up?
Yeah, man. I'm sure you've heard the Out of the Barrel LP.
Oh yeah.
I've been letting it like as far as the music recently, like when I came in and did a lot of my studying and crafting, I always looked up and followed the templates of a lot of the great artists who took their time and allowed things to marinate. You got to get out what you put in and things like that, just the different mind states. So the project is still streaming ridiculous. I still get people that DM me random, like, oh, this is my new favorite or this or that one. But as of currently, we're getting ready to, the last visual I released was 55th and Hamlet. We're getting ready to release a visual off the album that I felt was a song that was like, it's gonna be one of them songs that's gonna just grow over the years, like how Pussy So Good was. Like the more people that hear it and the more people that see this visual, I already like knew that as soon as I was creating the record. It's called Wolves. And
Okay.
we're getting ready to release the video to Wolves like any day now. But that visual is gonna it's gonna make you even prouder to, witness everything that you saw in me years back. As well as everyone else that believed in my dream.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You always know I'm the biggest supporter. I always share all your stuff. Obviously, for the people that watch the video or listen and watch the podcast from Kent, they all know you, so they're all amped
always,
up.
always love out in Kent, man. I love Kent, man.
Yeah,
Love.
it's always been a fun time. I mean, I think every single show that I've done, you've been involved with here.
Yeah. Yep. And I remember even back to the very first one, bro. I literally don't forget. I don't forget a lot, but I don't, I don't not remember one step. Like I literally remember everything I did and exactly how it happened. That's it's
Yeah, I
funny.
mean,
Like
you
every
coming
show
out.
we did together, I can remember all the acts. I can remember the guys that I invited from Cleveland. I can remember everything. That's a crazy feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to where both of us have grown. In the 8 years, I was a skinny kid with a faux hawk, and you
Right.
had your flat top and the starter jacket. To now, I'm a
The
big bearded guy. You got the dreads. It's
transformation.
oh yeah. I mean
You
that's
have
you
to
got to keep
transform.
evolving.
Exactly. You have to, and that's what that's another different sit down, but that's a lot of people have to come to the realization that you have to evolve. Like it's literally a part of life. You cannot be the same person that you were as a kid or a preteen or a teen or even a young adult. Like by the time you're an adult, you have to evolve with the times. No matter what you're
Absolutely.
pursuing. No matter what you're pursuing. So same as with the music. Like of course, if I hadn't evolved from kick game, you all would be getting those same type of vibes. But of course, you saw me go from a guy who was doing the industry beats to a guy that actually became a lyricist, start creating my own music, and then started creating a legacy. So you saw the entire run and what's still to come. And that's something that I have to, sometimes sit back and think like, man, this is beautiful. Like
Oh
it's
yeah,
beautiful.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? I would do it again.
Uh, you won Lyricist of the Year 2 times, correct?
Well, if we add multiple award shows, as a matter of fact, well, I have you all here. I'm missing one, but I don't know how to. Oh, here it is. I'm missing one, but this is 2013 Ohio Hip Hop Awards. I have 2017. I'm missing that one. This is 2014. Um, this is Lyrics of the Year 2013 for another award show. This is a different award show in 16. And these were just some other miscellaneous ones. So I'm missing 17. So I won it from about 13 to 17 throughout multiple shows.
That's incredible. I mean, that just goes to show the type the uh the type of work you put into your art.
Yeah.
is just incredible. I've turned so many people on to your music down here in Kent and in Portage County and Summit County that I mean the love has just always been here. You know, my dad loves you, my mom loves you, I love you.
Yeah. It's been it's been so much. Like I think that's why we stuck together so long because it was just genuine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you get into an industry like the entertainment industry, it's rare you come across genuine people. Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that was just the first time I saw you. You were doing a talent show for Kent State, and you
yeah,
handed me the CD that had extra paper on there, and we
year.
left. And in the car, we put it in, and I instantly was like, all right, okay,
Yeah, try it, and that's all it was a try. Because honestly, I do remember the very first show I did a part of you all showcase. I was co-headlining a kid who actually had a buzz named Jam Skillet.
oh, I remember that. I remember that
And I don't know what
showcase.
happened to this kid. This kid literally like disappeared. I'm super curious. I want to see the kid. I want to see what he. I just want to see what he looks like. But he
Yeah,
disappeared from that night that he didn't show up to that show. I never heard from him again.
I haven't heard anything about him. Who knows? Who knows where he ended up? So Shu, we're gonna get into the finals talk. I
Uh huh.
saved this just to talk with you because I know you love the NBA. I see your tweets and your Facebook posts and everything. So,
Man.
Brendan, do you got any questions for him or any topics?
Well, what do you expect now that we've seen games 1 through 3? What do you expect going forward in that series?
Well, honestly, I feel like I feel like they did what they did with game two in order to just because I'm not going to sit up here and be unbiased. Of course, I have a way that I feel about the NBA, but I'm just one person. I understand that where my footsteps and another person starts, yourself and Ethan. So you all have different perspectives. Everyone has their own perspective that you have to respect. I've been reading, we expect the Lakers to win. They have a great dynamic. It's really almost to beat that team. You have to have something special. So we're going to be expecting that. But I think with game two, they allowed the Heat, and I won't even say allowed because this is basketball. So you're going to play good some nights and some nights you won't. The Heat did what they did, but I do not see any team as of right now beating the Lakers in 7 games. So I feel like it's going to end around 5.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. Jimmy buckets did go off game 3.
Yeah.
That was fun to watch.
Thing about Jimmy, the thing about it is, man, we're gonna it's kind of like a Dame situation. Like we're gonna give Jimmy all his praise. Jimmy is grinding and doing what he gotta do, but it's not 15 Jimmys.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, this other team has not only a LeBron, but an AD and a bunch of just like miscellaneous snipers that can at any moment do something.
Yeah, that makes total sense. What are your thoughts on Tyler Hero?
I was getting ready right before you say that. I was gonna say the Heat also has Hero who can go off. Out of bio, yeah, I mean, and like for me to have to even be thinking this long of another key character is tough. It tells you something.
Iguodala? I
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean, as far as if they're not gonna have it, man. The Heat getting to this position is a great look. It's great for the whole entire organization, man. But they're not gonna have what it takes to beat the. And then I also, as well as being unbiased, they're not gonna have what it takes to beat the Lakers in a quote unquote pickup game.
Yeah.
Because there are analysts out there that, and even Scottie Pippen weighed in saying, "Oh, I don't feel like this is real. There's no crowd and da 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 da." So this is a pickup game. How do you feel like who on this earth is going to think that anyone is going to beat LeBron James in a pickup game?
Maybe Bronny. I don't know.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be tough to beat these guys when it's just it's such a relaxed mode and they're humongous players. Like we talking 6'8" to 6'11" on average.
Yeah, the one thing that I was thinking about when everybody was saying that it's a pickup game, is that gonna just fuel the MJ is the actual GOAT, not LeBron argument that everybody has?
I was thinking that because before the pickup game talk, I did see something thrown out there where I'm not gonna quote or say who the guy was, but I saw someone say, "Will winning this championship bring the LeBron and Jordan legacy closer?" And then that immediately upon seeing that, it hit my head where it was kind of like I had the thought of, man, this ain't that, but being unbiased, this I don't want to give out mines and make it, you know what I mean, weigh in on anyone else's. I just had a thought like, man, this is kind of like different than 2018 ships and 2017 and 16 and 15. But it's still a championship. They still playing hard. So I don't know. It's kind of tough with this bubble thing, man. I ain't gonna lie. This bubble thing is different, man.
Yeah, I mean, there was no pandemic spreading the world where everybody had to be in a bubble in
Like
the 90s.
With this bubble, I'm seeing just amazing things. But even amazing things happen with crowds, man. But it seemed like with this bubble, I'm seeing a little bit more amazing things, man. Because I feel like it's easier to be amazing when you don't have so much pressure on you.
Yeah, that makes
Like I'm
sense. Yeah.
feeling like even though I love a Dame Lillard, like I've been following it and being a huge fan of Dame Lillard since way back 16. You know what I mean? When I started using him on 2K and never stopped. But the stuff I'm seeing this man make is just like it'll just make you just be like, this is just unreal.
Yeah, Dame is fantastic. I wasn't going to use the word I wanted to say before I said fantastic, but he is absolutely fantastic. CJ McCollum, he's fire too.
It's just
Canton
it seems
guy.
like they're just having it. I thought for a second maybe they were having an easier time in the bubble, man. But honestly, my true opinion, I feel like they working and playing just as hard. And I think it's harder in the bubble because with guys not having pressure of the crowd to do something, they're just doing it extra hard to show that they deserve something.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And I do you like the virtual fans that they have in the bubble?
Nah, I think they could do without that stuff on the sides.
Yeah.
If they gonna have it like this, I think they could just have it where I don't know that them fans with that virtual thing. I don't pay too much attention to it, but it is a little weird. But I just be trying to watch the basketball, but they don't need that. I don't know. I don't know.
They go, and the thing too is they have all those different rotating cameras, so it's almost like you're playing 2K when you're watching it. It's a little, it kind of throws me off. I'm used to
That's what
the
I'm saying. And
regular.
the virtual fans are kind of like laggy.
Yeah.
I ain't, you know what I mean? That makes me feel like I'm playing Call of Duty and got shot with a lag again or something. You know what I mean? I don't want that.
Right, like playing playing like Madden 05 or something like that with the fans like
jerky. Like
yeah.
It's cool, but as far as the basketball itself, um, this this one right here is gonna go to Brian. It's gonna be what is this? This is gonna be his fifth?
Fourth.
See, that hurts me, man, because we should have had more of those chips in Cleveland, man.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I couldn't stand it when well, we should have had it in 15. That's a fact. If Kyrie didn't break his kneecap,
The one where Kyrie busted his knee, I can't remember which one it was. That may have been
that was
15.
game 1. Yeah, that was game 1 in 15.
And they dislocated Kevin's shoulder. I wanted to run through my wall, man.
Oh yeah, who was that? Kelly. Kelly dislocated. Yeah.
Those were separate years because they screwed us 2 years in a row. No.
No. It was the 2 series. It was the conference finals and then
the Celtics series, they took his arm out, and then the first game of one, Kyrie went out and over. He played through that into OT, I think.
Yeah, I mean, look, as great as Delly did that year in 15, covering for Kyrie, because Delly did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I remember.
He was shutting down
I
Steph
think he said he had to go to the hospital of dehydration after that series or something like that.
because he was drinking too much coffee before, getting amped up.
I mean, what do you think you're gonna do to chase the best shooter on the planet?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
Because
you gotta
not only do you have to put your hand up to guard the shot, this man ain't just standing still. And they're setting off picks. That's the thing I like about the NBA, man, when you watch it. I don't really, the scoring and all that don't intrigue me as much as the chess playing.
That's exactly what I call it. It's chess playing. How he knows what I'm talking about. I always call it chess playing.
That's all they're doing. But it's like, that's what I like about Portland, man, because they different, man. CJ McCollum and Dane is different. And Dane don't need so much to be, you know what I mean, so many moves, but it's different, man. It's different. CJ McCollum is a crazy chess player, man. If you see how he gets open, it's yeah. But this players out here, this Lakers, the thing about the Lakers, man, I ain't gonna just sit up here and act like they have an across the board type of thing, man. You got LeBron James, which is the best player on the planet, and you got Anthony Davis, and you got some role players. I think it's maybe a couple more even good players I'm not even naming at the time, but they're gonna win, man. And it's gonna be some teams that come next year that's gonna be able to do some things against them. Even Portland, gonna be able to compete better with them. They knew what happened. They knew how to stop Damian Lillard, and they did what they did. But as far as that Brooklyn team, we're gonna see some trouble, man. We're gonna see some trouble out of Brooklyn because before Kyrie and KD, they had really kind of slightly known guys that was killers.
Yeah, the thing with
those guys.
The thing with Brooklyn is, can they stay healthy though?
That's what I'm saying. Once they get KD and Kyrie, though, KD and Kyrie is kind of like equivalent to LeBron and AD. Once you got them two, you got to think that year I think it was 16 that the Warriors beat us when they had KD.
17.
17. The other Warriors didn't do nothing.
No.
KD literally, and that's what made me so mad because I remember tweeting and going Facebook crazy with the rants that was getting a ton of responses. It made me mad because it was obvious that minus him, we would have probably swept them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If KD never left the Thunder, imagine what the Thunder would be like today too.
Yeah, that KD move was bad. That got a very bad taste in my mouth. You know what I mean? That I'm gonna even pass down to my kids. But
absolutely.
But he what they gonna do in Brooklyn though? I've allowed his slate to be wiped clean because even though he went to the bullies, he left them. You know what I mean? So he's gonna try to make his own name. But you gotta show me something over here on the East.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They was comparing you, talking about you was better than Brian and all that. And that stuff used to be irking me bad, man.
Yeah, let's see what he can do in the East. Speaking of LeBron,
what do you think about him walking off the court early after the game before the game ended on Sunday night?
I saw people making a little bit of speculation about it. I don't think it was a super crazy deal, man. I think they're just at this point trying to say anything to try to get him to scurry along quicker. But you lose. I feel like he could have stayed on the court because you got to think about it. In a game of chess, as a businessman, when you sit down against that other player across that board, you already know what skill level you possess. So when you lose your draw, you're supposed to keep the same mental. So he already known, I know I can beat this guy. Okay, I lost this one. Let me shake this guy's hand, knowing that I'm just gonna learn from my mistakes and be retarded. We don't have to play him no more.
Yeah.
He could have done that, shook the hands, and just finished the series off. But you never know. And that's another thing that I want to weigh in on. As entertainers, sports players, or people in general, all we see is the outer shell, what they're doing, and what they're famous for playing basketball. You never know what's going on. I've done video shoots where family members were killed that day. You know what I mean? So you just never know what was going on with LeBron and why he couldn't. You know what I mean? Something could have been going on to the point where they even lost. We don't even know.
Yeah. No, I totally.
People, I remember watching the 30-30 for Chris Herron from Boston, who played for the Celtics, who was playing games on Oxycontin and all type of things.
Mm-hmm.
The type of things these guys be going through. We didn't even know about Kevin Love's depression and all those things. We didn't even think that type of stuff happened to famous people or people that had money until people start coming out about it. So players go through stuff. Yeah, I mean, it takes a Kobe Bryant or a Michael Jordan to be like, forget who I am as Michael, whatever Jordan I was born as, or Kobe Bryant that I was born as. I'm basketball man, and everything I live, do, talk, and speak, and will remain and have my legacy is basketball. So I have to make sure my legacy is, you know what I mean? It takes those special guys to, and LeBron is one of those guys. We don't know of not one incident he's had outside the court.
Yeah. Like you were saying about Kevin Love, we've discussed on the podcast of mental health issues and stuff like that. Like Kevin Love and DeRozan came out, and all those guys came out. Obviously, everybody deals with these issues. Some might be more severe than others, but at the end of the day, everybody deals with these issues. So, what you were saying about entertainers, you see these guys on the court or on the field for supposedly 60 minutes, 3 or 4 hours, however long a game takes. Essentially, they always say 60 minutes, but it takes, yeah.
And it's funny, YouTube is starting to steal that type of marketing, but we know what's going on.
Right. But yeah, you only see them there, just like you only see your favorite artist on stage for an hour and a half, and then you don't know what they struggle with or what they deal with mentally, physically, anything the second they leave it. So I totally understand what you're saying, man.
Once you can sit and think of that, they won't be so quick to judge.
Right. Because that's like people, if I'm doing a show and something happens and I'm in a bad mood, people would be like, oh, he's just a dick. Well, no, you don't know, like you were saying, you don't know what happened during that day before
to the show or anything. That's exactly what I meant right there. Because you got to think, it's been 8 years. I've been through a million situations.
Yeah, I've seen it, man.
So that's what people just got to be able to, it's called empathy, man, to be able to put yourself in the other shoes. And everybody don't possess empathy. Empathy is a very low percentage of people possess empathy.
Right. Yeah, there are way too many people in the world that do not have empathy, and they just, if it's not about them, whatever.
Perfect.
All right.
You just put it out on a platter, just like this. That's it.
Right. All right, man. So, one more question before we let you go.
Whatever y'all got to say, let's get to it.
Your thoughts on the 3-1 Cleveland Browns?
Man, it sound good. I'ma just leave it at that. It's good, man. We right now it's good. If we can get OB to turn up some and just keep playing. I don't know. I've been hearing these bold talks. You know what I mean? We gotta think of speculations, man. We 4 games in the 6th game. You know what I mean? So, what y'all thinking? I'm thinking good, man. But what I do want to see, we gotta be more solid on the defense, though.
That's what I was saying. I was saying the secondary seems a little loose. I mean, they're not.
Games is so high in scoring.
Yeah, And they're not playing necessarily bad. I've been a Browns fan my whole life. I've seen bad secondaries, but I don't think necessarily they look that bad, but they need to tighten up the secondary. Brendan, your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely solidify the secondary. I think after 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks, we'll know just who the Cleveland Browns are for sure, considering that this week they're going to play the second best defense they play all year. And then next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to play the best defense in all of football, probably.
If we win, if we don't lose these next two, it's a special year.
Yeah. Are you gonna book your tickets to the Super Bowl?
Man, hell yeah. If bro, we got our whole 2020 stolen.
Right.
21, everybody coming outside.
Right. And
if they open up the world 21, you're gonna see a record amount of attendance across the board on any venue, like anything that's happening outside.
oh, absolutely. And if the Browns do make it to the Super Bowl, all the stands is going to be brown and orange. I don't think anybody could get it. I think it would sell out in like 12 seconds.
Minutes.
Bro,
Minutes?
Maybe.
bro, it would be if the Browns, if we get like, I'm telling you, if we don't lose like another 3 or 4, I don't know, man. I don't really want to say much, man, because that's like 8-1. That's like if we don't lose, man, it's gonna be wild in Cleveland, man. I'm talking
Yeah.
about those when they start saying, because I did see something that said, I forget the team, but they were gonna allow maybe 12,000 people. If they start
Oh yeah,
allowing,
that's the Browns this week.
because I saw that for another team. But if they allow that, it's so immediately it's gonna be fights, maybe.
Oh yeah. It's going to be
But
if the
if
Browns Sorry, go on.
no, I'm saying if they do this 3, 4 more times, it's going to get in there, to get in that group of 12 or whatever, or even tailgate is going to be.
Oh, it's going to be you're going to have to drop thousands.
Yeah, one of the hardest things to do.
And on top of that, if the Browns do make it to the playoffs and somehow make it to the AFC Championship and pray to God that they make it to the Super Bowl, imagine we were at the championship parade in 16. Were you down there for that?
Hell
You know
yeah.
how crazy that was? Imagine if the Browns won compared to the Cavs. Because, it's Brownstown. It's
way different. Way
oh,
different. It's going to be, it's a bigger, football has a bigger, I think it's a bigger dynamic. Like, because football is loved across like a wider span.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's more, it's like Northeast Ohio, they have more, it's like a football factory almost. Because we keep
Yeah.
pumping out these players and stuff too.
And it's going to be crazy for Cleveland because look at how many years we've invested into them, because I see the people get hurt and they're excited and they're hurt. And then, so with all that investing, it's gonna be a huge relief for people to just get that ultimate victory, man. They go do whatever they gotta do. Work, everything is gonna be out. That's gonna be huge for the city. I'm talking about the biggest we've seen.
Oh, I think I wouldn't say the city would burn down, but the city would. I don't think the city would burn down. It would be more of like everybody just embracing each other. It would just be like
love. It would be
it
love
would
day.
just be so much love. It would, everybody
That
would just be hugging.
I would never forget that day, man. That was probably the most amazing days, bro.
That was
even Kyrie hitting the shot and me realizing we won.
Oh yeah.
Like that parade though, that was another level, man. To see so many people, not one issue.
No. Yeah, everybody was just there. Everybody was having fun. Everybody was, nice to each other. I got the second worst sunburn of my life, down the right side of my face, because I was standing at Progressive Field and the sun was right here the whole time. So I was watching the parade and I forgot to put on sunscreen.
Where they had the like the stage and everything set up, I was literally like caddy corner to that. So like if the stage is like, yeah, I mean, I was like right in the back of that, but we was standing on top. I was with a couple of my rap homies. We was standing on top. Aviator Jew and another homie. He real good. He real cool with Ezzy. And we was just standing on top of that joint and watched it. Like it was literally probably like 400 feet, 500 feet from us. Not even that far. It was close, man. And it was
Yeah.
the whole middle section was packed up with people. Like, and this wasn't even the people that were streets over that couldn't even get to that. So they had to watch on Jumbotron and everything. But that was an amazing day, man.
It was a fantastic day. I mean, it was. What would you say about that day?
One of the best days of my life.
That's what I'm saying.
You say 400 or 500 feet. I was walking the street. I was 1-2 feet from everybody. I was shaking hands with everybody.
See, I wanted to be that, but I wanted to get close to the stage already. Like, you know how like everybody was out enjoying and walking around. I did that real quick, but immediately my homies was like, man, they gonna have the stage and everything set up over here. So we just finagled our way through a ton of people and got up on top of some joints.
I mean,
I think we was on top of like a lemonade vendor or something. Like the people inside was not getting us off of that joint, man. It was over.
oh,
Like you had to stand up for that day, and I think they understood. Like, man, we had just accept whatever damages, man.
oh man, it was fantastic. I loved how many. We went to Ohio Media School, as you know.
Yeah.
I got you down. I hooked you up with the radio station down there, but we asked somebody who worked at Channel 5 because they played it live when LeBron was just dropping every and any cuss word he could think of when he was talking about it. We were like, how many fines do you guys get? And they were like, let's just say a lot.
For real?
Oh, yeah, because FCC fined them
Oh yeah,
because they played
every
it
word he
live.
said.
I don't think I ever seen that video.
Oh, it's fantastic. You know what? I might send it to you if I can find it.
Yeah, I know they definitely get fined for every word. You want to know what was another amazing day for me, man? I ended up going down to the Skip and Shannon show during one of the championship runs.
Oh, yeah?
Man, I ain't even realize how close I was sitting. Like they had the angle on me so perfect that like all my homies was tweeting me and everything. Like, man, how you get down there, man? What are you doing? How you right? I was sitting literally right behind them in the camera, laughing at jokes and doing everything. After we got off, shook hands and everything with Skip and Shannon, man. Skip had on some Jordans. It was funny, man. It
Of
was a
course, Skip had on some Jordans.
man. It was right down there at the next to the Cavs stadium, man.
Well, hell yeah. So, Shuicide, I'm gonna let you go. Do you have anything you want to plug real fast?
Man, you can hit me up. They can hit me up on the social medias, you know. Shuicide Holla, ShuiCideHolla. I be on there, you know. I respond and I be relaxing for real, smoking my weed, meditating, man, and you know, coming up with this creativity. But anybody that's reaching out looking for any type of insight, man, hit me up. Anybody, yeah, I mean, I respond. I
For
show
sure,
love.
man. And you have Wolves dropping soon, right?
Video on the way. Shout out to Builder Productions, my guys, man, and my brothers, man. And we get it in crazy. They seen what we did with 50 and Hamlet. Be on the lookout for that Wolves. The album Out of the Barrel is everywhere. Pussy so good. About to hit 7 million views. We vibing.
Well, hell yeah. Shu, love you. You're like a brother to me.
Appreciate y'all, man. It's good chatting. It's good talk. We'll chat soon. My G.
Have a good one, bro.
My G.
And that was Shuicide Holla talking a little NBA, little music career, little NFL. So, this day in sports history, Brendan, in 1984, October 7th, 1984, Walter Payton surpasses Jim Brown for the NFL's career rushing leader.
Well, You sit there and you think about Walter Payton, and you're going to sit there and you're going to think Jim Brown. There are two names that are pretty synonymous with each other when you start thinking about the football legend, football history, things like that. When you think Jim Brown, you think the only person that might be better than him is Walter Payton. And then you start thinking Barry Sanders, but his career was significantly shorter than those guys. So
I have a
is just
couple
a
that I
huge
think
accolade.
of. I can think of a couple. O.J. Simpson.
Well, OJ's in that conversation.
LT.
OJ and LT are in that conversation too. I'm just saying, the minute you think of Jim Brown, you're also thinking number 34 from the Chicago Bears.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And in the 80s, what they did, the 85 Bears.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was this day in sports history. You can follow me on Twitter at ETHSimpsonCGOD. You can follow me on Instagram at ETHSimpson. And you can follow my main man at...
Follow me on Twitter at BWardCLE. Follow me on Instagram, B.Ward52. Go ahead and follow the podcast on Twitter at Podcast Given, on Instagram at Any Given Podcast, Facebook.com/Any Given Podcast. Please do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube. Thank you for tuning in to Any Given Podcast. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week.
God bless and stay blessed.